Now the wait begins. Tonight the jury has the case of a federal agent accused of murder. Christopher Deedy is accused of murdering Colin Elderts in a Waikiki McDonald's. His first trial ended with a hung jury. KITV4's Brenton Awa has today's closing arguments from the second one. Brenton.
Yunji, all of the evidence is in. We've heard from all of the witnesses, even Deedy himself. And today, both sides' attorneys had a last chance to tell their version of what they believe happened during the night Colin Elderts was killed.
Prosecutors were up first for what could be the last time. They painted the picture of a smiling Colin Elderts having a good time with friends that night with no idea the clock on his life was counting down. They say the reason was a drunken Christopher Deedy, a federal agent who was out of line, aggressive and egotistical.
Colin Elderts did not know that his life was in the hands of the defendant, who, in the exercise of misguided discretion, would make mistake after mistake after mistake.
8 of them recounted by the prosecution, but Deedy's attorneys point out that the real mistake is the state's story. They say the state's failed. Deedy's not guilty.
A lot of what Ms. Futon wants you to believe is not supported by the video. And when your theory of why somebody is guilty, when the theory of your case is not supported by the video, ladies and gentlemen, that's what reasonable doubt is.
But the prosecution stood its ground, stating that the federal agent was the one who picked the fight. They say Elderts remained calm and turned his back on Deedy throughout the night. They say that second-degree murder is the appropriate charge for the federal agent.
When he drew his gun, the defendant testified he did it intentionally. When he pulled the trigger, he did it intentionally.
Deedy's lawyers see it differently, saying he was just doing his job, he had to, and was anything but aggressive.
The video clearly shows where he's looking. He shows Agent Deedy approach, hands in the pocket. And she says, well, why didn't he walk over there or walk over there or talk to this, talk to that person? Because he simply walked up and said, hey, what's going on here? It was an investigative approach. Keep in mind, we spent close to a month talking about something that happened in like a couple minutes. Don't ever lose sight of that.
And the jury just went into deliberations this afternoon. Those jurors do have other options to look at this time around besides just second-degree murder. Those include reckless manslaughter, an EMED manslaughter charge, and 2 different charges of assault. In case you were wondering, in the first trial, it took the jury nearly 6 days before the court decided that they could not come up with a verdict, resulting in a mistrial. Back to you.